So good afternoon, and it is a good afternoon because finally, as you can see on Arsenal.com, Bukayo Saka has signed a new deal. Finally, this has been taking what seems like an absolute eternity to get done. Is he going? Is he staying? Are we even offering him a deal? But eventually, he has actually signed a deal, and we're going to go through it. I've literally not seen any of this, so we're going to go through it together. Do absolutely batter the likes up. Share the post as well if you would. I would appreciate that. That'd be fantastic if you could do that. And we have got a game later on tonight as well. So it's been a good day so far. Let's hope Arsenal don't ruin it tonight when we play Norwich. I will be doing a watch along tonight. I think I'll be doing it on HOTMIC as well. So do download that. Very, very close. Literally a couple of people away from 700 on that platform. So do go and check that out. The link for that is in the description. And the watch along, what I'll be doing tonight, rather than doing a starting 11 reaction, then the watch along, I'll be going live about 5 to 5. The game kicks off at 6 UK time. It's on BT Sport in England. And I'll just be going straight through. So we do a build up for the whole hour before, and the watch along will just continue on the same stream. So rather than doing 2 streams, I'll be doing 1. So make sure you come and check that out a little bit later on as well. And yeah, man, let's get into this. Let's change the color of that. There we go. That's orange, isn't it? We don't want to do that. There we go. Right. Anyway, let's get into this. Bukayo Saka has signed a new long-term contract. Let's click on that. Let's have a little look through. Bukayo Saka has signed a new long-term contract with the club. He has been with since the age of 7. Come through the ranks at Highland Academy, and has been impressive. Had an impressive impact on the season, and now made 37 first-team appearances since his debut in November in the 2018 in the Europa League. Bukayo has made his Premier League debut at the age of 17 in a 4-1 win against Fulham last season. He scored his first senior goal in a 3-0 win at Eintracht in September last year. Head coach Mkhitaryan said Bukayo is a talented and intelligent young player. He has impressed me with his work ethic and attitude to learn and adapt, and it has paid off in his performances. I'm excited to continue working with him to develop him further and help him to help us achieve our goals. With 11 assists this term, Bukayo Saka is the first teenager to hit double figures in a single season for us since Cesc Fabregas, baby. That's how good he's been this season. Technical director Edu Gaspar added, "This is something everyone involved wanted to happen, and we're delighted that Bukayo has signed a long-term deal and a new contract. He's making great progress and is one of a number of young players who have developed through our academy. So this is important for us as we move forward as a club. Everyone would like to congratulate Bukayo on his new contract." Let's see if we've got any pictures. Let's come out of that. Let's see if we've got any pictures. There's got to be some pictures on it somewhere, isn't there? Surely. But it's good news, man. I'm well happy with that. There's got to be some pictures on it, man. Where's the pictures at? Let's click on that. Right. Let's have a little look at this. Right. Let's read out this. Let's go with this. Do smash the likes up if you haven't already, but this is really good news. This is a massive piece of news for Arsenal Football Club, and it's about time we actually had something to be excited about. Remember that one, Josh Kroenke and all that? Well, I am excited that we've signed this guy, so that's one step forward, I suppose. Bukayo said, "When I was at Highland, I just remember always seeing a picture of Jack Wilshere on the walls as I walked in every single day. I noticed it would tell myself that it's possible to get into the first team, and there's a pathway. Since then, everything's happened so quickly. I came to Colney last year, then all of a sudden I was playing against Man United in the Premier League. That game in September, man, I was standing on the pitch at Old Trafford before the match. It was my second ever start in the Premier League, and it finally hit me. I'm in the Arsenal first team." There he is. Look at him. What a baller. What a baller. I've been here 10 years. I've been here 10 years earlier with my dad sitting in the away end with the Newcastle fans. My dad has always been a big football fan. He supported Newcastle because he loved Alan Shearer. I hadn't been to many stadiums, so it was a big moment for me. I was 8 years old to go to a game, but now I was here as a player. Being down on the pitch, looking up at the fans in the stands, it really hit me. I realised it was starting to happen. To be honest, it all really started a long time before that. From the age of 3 or 4, I was playing football in my home, in my garden with my dad and my older brother, Yomi. It was always like that. After school, we would eat and then go straight into the garden to play football. We'd play for hours. My dad and my brother would want to go back inside, but I never let them. We kept playing until I won. I'm serious. You can ask them. Well, give us the phone number then, bruv. As long as they were winning, I wouldn't let them back inside. Winning mentality. That's what we've not seen at this club for a while. When I got a bit older, I would also play on the green outside our house. I love being outside. I was never one for movies or anything, but I do admit to liking cartoons as a kid. Man's coming out with SpongeBob SquarePants, you know, look at him. I grew up in Greenford, West London with my mum, my dad and Yomi. We've always been close. We've always been sporty. My brother played as a defender for Watford until he was 14. Weekends in our house were always about football. My dad would usually take me to Arsenal. When I joined when I was about 7. My mum would take my brother to Watford. I spent a lot of time being taken to and from football in my dad's car. I remember there were a lot of roadworks around Howell End. That's London, mate. That's London all over. Sometimes it took an hour and a half, but it was worth it and I loved it. Just enjoyed playing. I don't think I ever really thought I was going to make it to the first team until I actually signed my first professional contract at 17. Big up Saka. You go through youth teams year by year and you see all of these great players around you. Some of them will be the best in the year. Slowly they are all let go to other clubs or even stop completely. So you could never be sure that you would make it. But what I said to myself is I'd always give my best in every single session. I always wanted to learn to get better. I watched a lot of football to see how I could improve. But when we had a big group at Hale End and even thought that there were so many quality players, coaches would always say, look around the dressing room, only maybe 1 or 2 of you will make it to the first team one day. We'd all look at each other and wonder who it would be. I was always determined for it to be me and I wanted to do whatever that took to achieve. I got impatient at times. I was really young. I had a lot of growing pains and it was really frustrating. I had problems with my heels, my knees. Oh my God, don't tell us that, bro. But that happens when you grow up. At the time, you don't have the patience. I just wanted to play all the time. I kept asking, how long will it be until I'm playing without pain? But looking back now, it wasn't so hard. I know other people have been through much worse. My mum and dad had always encouraged me. They never stopped me from playing football. Just wanted to see, they just wanted to see a balance, that I was also interested in my education. Do smash the likes up. I can't see any of your comments at the moment, but I will come back to some of them in a minute. Let's continue reading the rest of that. I actually got quite good grades, so they were pleased on that side. I got 4 A stars and 3 A's in my GCSE. Jesus Christ, he's not a dumb footballer like most of them. So I did quite well at school. My favourite lesson was obviously PE, but I always liked business studies. I got an A star in that. I was lucky enough to travel a lot when I was younger as well. Every year, my mum and dad would take us away. We went to Nigeria, of course, where my mum and dad are both from. We went to Dubai and to America a few times because my cousins lived there. I remember going to Chicago and LA, other places too. I live with my parents. I still live with my parents, but we moved away from Greenford now. I don't blame you. It's a fucking shithole, bruv. Closer to the training ground, probably Radlett, the posh ends. Me and my brother has moved to Reading to go to university. We're still really close though. He was one of the first to text me after the FA Cup game at Bournemouth when I was man of the match. My mum texted me too, telling me how proud she was. My dad always tells me what I could have done better, even when I played well. And my cousins and uncles support me. I know they pray for me and they always ask how I'm getting on. My first team debut last year was in Ukraine, so that wasn't an easy one to get to for them. But 2 weeks later, my family were all there when I started my first game at the Emirates. It was a few months after my 17th birthday against Karabag in the Europa League. And I was told I'd be starting the day before. I couldn't sleep at all. My dad told me that he was the same. We got some decent youngsters. Just look at that little bench. We ain't got some bad kids at this time, have we? They all came to support me, and I remember seeing how happy they looked afterwards. I framed the shirt from that game. It's on the wall at home, and whenever I see it, I think back to walking past that picture of Jack Wilshere at Hale End. Now that I'm in that position, and that I've got to get to that level he got to when he was my age. I'm really proud of myself. I'm really happy, and I just want to keep taking each day by day. Stay humble and trying to get better each day. Big up Bukayo Saka. He seems like a nice lad, doesn't he? And he has just penned a new deal. It doesn't say how long the new deal is, though, does it? But we'll come back out of that, and we'll leave that on the screen for now. But I bet you lot are as buzzing as I am. I bet there's Liverpool fans out there that were absolutely fuming because they thought he was going to Liverpool. But I'm happy, man. I'm well happy with that. Big up Bukayo Saka. He seems like a decent young lad, doesn't he? He doesn't seem like a fucking idiot like some of these kids that come through, i.e. Jack Wilshere. I've met Jack Wilshere. What a cocky twat. He doesn't come across like that. Thank you for your donation, Dale. You think Saka will be the next big thing? It's still too early to judge, but you know what? I'm just buzzing that we have signed this kid, mate. Yeah, because listen, big up Unai Emery as well. Unai Emery gave him his debut, and he's kicked on and he's took it with both hands and kicked on ever since. And he's made a lot of people eat their words. Me, one of them. I didn't think he'd make it. Yeah, real talk at the start of the season when he was getting appearances, I was thinking he's got something, but can he kick on? And boy, has he kicked on this season. And he is now one of the first names on the team sheet, and rightly so. And do you know what? I rate people like that. Yeah, because it's sink or swim when you play first team football, especially in the Premier League. And he's proving that he's got the facilities for that and the capabilities to kick on and become a proper baller. He's got every attribute. He's got pace. He's very clever without the ball. He tracks back. He's got work rate 100. And I said this the other day. If we had players like Tierney, Saka, if we multiply that all over the pitch and every one of them's got their work rate and determination, just them two alone, yeah, we'd be up challenging near the top of the table. Sadly, there's not enough of them in the squad right now that are elite mentality with work rate, like Saka, like Tierney. You know, they don't do enough for me, and mainly the more experienced ones. So when a kid comes through, as a football fan, right, growing up and supporting Arsenal, you always wanted to see a kid come through the team and make it. You know, that's why everyone was so desperate for Jack Wilshere to make it. You know, then obviously Ashley Cole before that, he made it and then buggered off to Chelsea. But we're desperate for a youth teamer to come through and be that next big thing at the club because, you know, the fact that he's grown up around the corner from the ground, the fact that he's now playing first team football, that gives you a little bit of a, yeah, he's one of us. Do you know what I mean? When, you know, that's not taking it away from the other players. It's just, you know, when you sign a player from overseas, it's slightly different. They don't tend to have that affiliation with the club as much as somebody who's come through from 7 years old at an academy. So, yeah, man, wish him all the best. I am absolutely buzzing this kid has signed because, let's be real here, he's probably, along with Aubameyang and Martinelli, been our best player this season. And you could make a case for any three of them being our best player in any order. You could maybe throw Leno into that if you wanted to as well. But we need to now have 11 like that, where we could go, well, actually, no, it's him. No, it's him. No, it's him. In fact, we've only got a handful of them. It's kind of worrying. But I'm buzzing we've signed this lad. And like I said, it doesn't say how long the contract is. I'd imagine it's a 4 or 5 year deal. Thank you for your donation, Adi Inka. Personally, I wrote the season off. Sell players who don't want to be here. Simple. Please, no Europa League. I kind of like the Europa League. I can't lie. Everyone laughs at me when I say that. But thank you for that generous donation, buddy. Appreciate that. Credits to Unai Emery for promoting him to the first team despite all of his faults. At least he was given the opportunities to the youth. He was actually. Fair play to him. Thank you, mate. Hope you're well. If you've not subscribed, please do. Watch along settings later on tonight. Hopefully Arsenal are now not going to ruin this day because so far it's been a good day. We've signed up one of the best talents in Arsenal that we've had for a very long time, and he was going down. It's actually a year today his contract expired, so he's now signed up a new deal, and I'd imagine it's a 4 or 5 year deal. But what's the Mkhitaryan situation? He's gone. Apparently he's bought out his contract and gone or terminated it. I don't care. He's gone. What an absolute cock up that was. Oh, let's swap our best player for some geezer who ain't good enough. And then we'll loan him out. We'll pay all of his wages while he's on loan. And then we'll just terminate his contract. Well done. At least they've actually done something decent today by signing this kid up. Mino Raiola has paid the contractual penalty for Mickey's contract. He's now free to join Roma, 200k off the wage bill. So it was actually Mino Raiola who paid it. Wow. Shows that football agents are pretty flash right now. Saka praised Emery, which was class. Yeah, man. Do you know what? Yeah, I didn't dislike, and I still don't dislike Unai Emery. Yeah, I just think that if we finished 2 points off third last season, you know, we got to the Europa League final. You know, yes, this season didn't start great, but he won 4 out of his first 8 games. People seem to forget this. Yeah, I think since then, fast forward all the way to now, I think we've only won 6 more league games. So, you know, people can sit and say Emery's left us a mess. What a load of bollocks. Emery left us a team that was better than the team he got us into the Europa League final. Everyone was cussing Alex Iwobi off. We got 40 million quid because he got a tune out of him last season. You know, Lacazette, he got player of the season because of Unai Emery. You know, so there we go. Nearly 1,000 people watching this live. It's a happy day today. I'm happy. It's a smile. Screen grab it, because apparently I'm negative and toxic. So yeah, I'm happy today, man. Let's hope these fucks don't let us down tonight, though. Trust me. Back again. Big up Lee and everyone in the chat. Afternoon, Gary. I hope you're well, mate. Thank you, O'Malley, for your donation. Arsenal can qualify for Europa League qualification rounds if they finish 8th. And Man City's ban is upheld. Don't know if you want to play Europa League. Thank you for that, mate. I do appreciate it. And I do want to get Europa League. It's an opportunity to go and win some silverware in Europe, which sadly, flies pissing me off, which sadly, this club has not won enough of over its lifetime. So I would love for us to get into Europa League. Yes, I know that we cocked it up this time round. The 2 seasons before that, we got a final and a semi-final. So here we go. Here's a good one on Twitch. Profiting off of happiness. My guy. My guy. Yes, apparently you're not allowed to profit at all, mate, according to 14-year-olds who will never have a job in their life. Thoughts on the Saliba news? Yes, for anybody who doesn't know, apparently there was a £2.5 million discrepancy. They basically I think there was 2.5 million quid that was to be paid as a loan fee for him to go on loan for 1 month. So Arsenal went, bollocks, he ain't going. And he ain't now playing in the cup final over in France at the end of this month. So listen, kind of sad, but it just shows what football's all about now, mate. It's all about the money, money, money. Mkhitaryan's gone, good riddance. Yes. Yes, we are linked with Memphis Depay as well and Upamecano. It's amazing where we're getting all this money from that apparently we haven't got. But there we go. Listen, do batter the likes up. I would appreciate that. Nearly 200 of you have liked the video. Do hit the share option. Most importantly, do download HOTMIC because I'll be streaming on there tonight, I think, if the Arsenal game's on HOTMIC. But I will be on there later on this evening. I will be doing a watch along. I'll be starting at 5 to 5. There'll be no starting 11 reactions separate video. I'll be doing that 5 to 5. The team's announced at 5. So I'll be going live at 5 to 5 and we'll just go all the way through to the end of the game. So we'll get the breaking news on the starting 11. We'll get some of your thoughts in the comments and stuff like that. And we'll move forward from there. And hopefully we'll see Arsenal batter Norwich tonight, which would be lovely jubbly if we could. Yes, that's exactly it. They wanted us to pay the 2.5 million quid for Saliba to go on loan to them. Yeah, what's that all about? Jog on, man. Like, and listen, Arsenal, fair play to Arsenal. They said bollocks, we're keeping the 2.5 million. It'll probably pay Saliba's wages for the year. Yildiz had a nightmare that Arteta started bellowing and we got battered by Norwich. Your friend Fraudstein says we are getting closer to Thomas Partey. Big up Ornstein, by the way, because Ornstein dropped this and about 20 minutes later, Arsenal announced it. I don't know whether that means he's still got a connection in the club. He's still a fucking puppet. Yeah, he's still a puppet. Why didn't we get money for Mkhitaryan? Because nobody's stupid enough to pay for him, mate. Look at this guy. Naf loaded on Twitch. If you say you're going live at 5 to 5, we'll see you at 5 then, brother. You know, man, come on. Every day we're late. Every day we're late. Big up Daniel Chambers. How you doing, bruv? If you are watching on Facebook, hit the share option. I would appreciate it. There is 1,000 people watching this live, so batter the likes up, share it around, subscribe, download HOTMIC, use my code. I get paid for that. Help a brother out. I'm so glad Saka has finally signed. Now let's develop his talent into something special. Also glad Mickey is staying at Roma permanently. Today's a good day so far. On to the boys winning tonight, hopefully. Exactly. All of a sudden, the mood around the Arsenal fans has just changed real quick. Mickey's left. Saka signed a new deal. Let's get into that game tonight, man. Yeah, and that's all we want to see as football fans. That's why I moan all the time. Yeah, I want to see better. I want to see crap like Mkhitaryan leaving. I want to see the best players like Saka signed up. You know, and I don't know what's taken them 6 months to sign the kid up, but it's eventually done. Hopefully, fingers crossed, Aubameyang will be next. Looking peng today. Thank you very much. Can't see this news on BBC. We don't need to see it on BBC. I've got Arsenal website up, bruv. It's on arsenal.com. Look. Arsenal.com, my friend. We're on arsenal.com. Look. So, FBBC, we've got the plug right there on arsenal.com. 50k a week, 5-year deal. And apparently he's got a £105 million release clause. Is that true? If that's true that he's on 50 bags a week on a 5-year deal and 105 million release clause, that's mental. I'm nearly 1,100 people watching live. So keep smashing the likes up. We'll do a few more comments here. And don't forget, I will be back for the watch along in about 3 hours' time. The main positive is Tierney, Saka, Martinelli are all on long-term contracts. Our 3 biggest prospects are the future are here for long term. That's a very good point, Jack. Very, very good point, mate. And listen, let's do 5 more comments, and I'm going to wrap this up because I do need to eat and I do need to make a thumbnail for that watch along. So it's a 4-year deal, says Gary. Either way, it's a 4 or a 5, but he does have a £105 million release clause. Maybe, just maybe, Arsenal, a light bulb moment happened. They went, fuck me. Let's stick a release clause in his contract for stupid money, just in case somebody wants to poach him. About time we started acting like a big club. So yeah, big up my guy, Chig. My partner in Arsenal watch-alongs, Guna Eagle Eye, link in the description. Subscribe to him right now. I'm going live at 5 to 5 tonight, and I'm going all the way through to the end of the game. So you'll get the starting 11 reaction on that stream. You'll get the watch-along. Chig will be joining me. We'll get all the ups and downs on there. Why don't you rate Ornstein? Let's drink my tea before I answer that, my friend. The reason people do rate Ornstein is because most of them haven't got a Scooby how anything works in life, mate, because they spend most of their time in their mum's basement chatting shit online. The reason I don't particularly rate Ornstein is he's a puppet. He was Wenger's puppet. He was Dick Law's puppet. He was Ivan Gazidis' puppet. Apparently, we weren't going to sign any more signings. Arsenal's business is done. Yeah. About an hour later, we announced Danny Welbeck. Yeah. Apparently, Nuri Sahin had signed a deal with Arsenal to come on loan with an option to buy it. It never happened. Yeah. David Ornstein also said after Fabrizio Romano tweeted out last July, 13th of July last year, I was at Malaga Airport, just landed. Arsenal were in for Nicola Pepe, 72 million. Fabrizio Romano tweets that out. Ornstein then puts out, no, that's absolute rubbish. Arsenal have not got that money. They're not signing Nicola Pepe. Well done, mate. Yeah, I'm sure he's bagged 8 goals, 8 assists this season. So I don't know if that's his brother. But did you hear the news? Wigan have gone into admin. Have they really? That's sad, man. That's sad. Very sad. Let's do a couple more. Ornstein chats bollocks. Yes. Ornstein or Pornstein? Fraudstein. And I think the company he's working for, I think Kia Jarabchin is suing them for mistruths about David Luiz's contract as well. But listen, I'm gonna wrap this up. Dr. Viral just heard that for 100th time. How you doing, buddy? Listen, I'm going to wrap this up. It's a beautiful day. Bukayo Saka signs on a new long-term deal. Mkhitaryan's finally fucked off out the football club. And we've got Norwich City tonight. All smash the likes up. Subscribe if you're new. I will be back in just under 3 hours from now with the live watch-along. So all have a wonderful day. And I'll leave you all in peace. Laters, peeps.